So as Hebrew as the ownership all is for the last, or has been for the last 300 years plus, Zionist Hebrew, of course, but there's this pagan Celtic side to their Hebrew Kabbalah as well, big time. There's this link with Ireland and the tribe, the Phoenician merchants, the red-haired Phoenician merchants, and so many of these goddesses are red-haired. But all right, I'm going to go through a few very quickly. I've just been looking up Celtic gods and goddesses, starting with Rhiannon, the sorceress. Wow, come on. Moving on. You've got the bard, Taliesin. Never heard of this one. The only name that rings a bell on Taliesin is Talia Shire. You got Shire horse there. She's a copula as far as I know, CO prefix. Now this gets interesting. Sheila Nagig. Right? It's some kind of dark goddess of sacred power, but you can see the power is all sort of sexual. And guess what? The old transgender special, PJ Harvey, made a track called Sheila Nagig. Yeah. If you think that's a woman, then you better think again. Here's your transgender code, Polly and Molly. The Molly houses, the cross-dressing houses, which became, of course, transgender when the technology was available, the estrogen, testosterone, whatever they want to use for FTM and MTF. Spin. Oh, look. If you want to spin. Yes, this creature has been spun. Big, heavy male features. Straight up and down. Raw Power of a Man, PJ Harvey. And of course that Domino film, the girl's name was Harvey, and we're talking about Rebel Rhyme's favourite person, Brian Harvey. Yes, Harvey the Hidden Rabbit. Harvey is a Hebrew surname. Yeah, look at this anti-Islamic propaganda by the Zionist media. Anyway, this thing has been spun. It's transgender. And it's all Hebrew and pagan and Sheila Nagig. There you go. So there's your Sheila Nagig. There's definitely something going on with this character. The gig is up. Oh, there's going to be tons to that. Alright, well, let's move on. So I looked up other gods and goddesses. Bear with me. Where did I look it up? List of Celtic deities. Came across Conan. See, there's your Conan. Now, this is where things get really freaky. If you read about Conan, right? Conan. In Irish mythology, the old CO prefix Conan, was the leader of the Fomorians who lived in a tower on Tory Island. So that's where we get the conservative Tories from. He opposed the followers of Nemed, demanding a huge tribute of their produce and children. Eventually, Nemed's people rose up and killed him, destroying his tower. After his death, Mork, another Fomorian, massacred Nemed's surviving followers. Mork. Now we know why Mr. Rainbow, who is alive and kicking on Fantasy Island with hot and cold running rent boys for sure. Mork. That's why he was called Mork. It's related to Conan. Look at the... Wow. Gee whiz. Yeah. Look at all these symbols. Order of Solomon. Colours of Hebrew Bolshevik communism, upside down pyramid, gay rainbow. Quite something there. So there's your Mork, right? And Conan, and go back to that again. There's something else there. Conan, in his films, and I've just watched Conan, both Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer again, and he's always saying Crom, because that's his god, right? Well, here's Crom. Crom, Cruach, was a god of pre-Christian Ireland. It's always Ireland. According to Christian writings, he was propitiated with human sacrifice, and his worship was ended by Saint Patrick. Crom, as Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger would say. Look how many of these. It's just too many. It's too many. But anyway, I'm going to carry on with the ones I've been looking at. Of course, Morrigan, as I said the other day, it's a raven goddess, just like Brian Blessed. Woden's ravens, Thor's ravens, yeah, birds. Yeah. Craft of the Ernie Wise. Witchcraft. Yeah, Juno Temple starred in, like I said before, Atonement. And Juno, if you bear with me, is the goddess of marriage. And what happens to this Redmayne, Juno Temple? She gets married in the film. That's her one role in the film. To get done by Benedict Cumberbollocks here. And then marry him. Juno Temple. Yeah, her real hair colour mostly hidden. She was a redhead in that film, and well, of course, she is a redhead. But she dyes her hair 90% of the time. Even that's dyed. It's not quite her natural colour. Oh, there it is. There's a natural colour. Frizzy-haired Phoenician merchant Redmayne. There you go. That frizzy hair. That red frizzy hair. And that was described by that Muslim imam back in the Dark Ages. Yeah? That the Khazars, the Phoenician merchants, the Scythians, were largely of long flowing red hair, cold of demeanour, and or something like that. Anyway, it fits. So anyway, right, so there's your Juno goddess, Juno Temple. And I've always said this from my Operation Blackjack series, Colm Feor means fire dove. Yes, the Colm is a dove, and Feor is fire dove. And he also plays Lugus, the Lord Marshal. So it's all wraps around itself. It's all pagan, and they all have their characters, their Hebrew products in Hollywood playing these satanic roles, you know. So that's Colm Feor's role, Lug Nassa. And I do believe that is the origin of NASA. Of course, you've got Cernunnos, Cern, horned god of Celtic mythology, and Cern 666, with Kali the Destroyer, the consort of Shiva. Brigid, another Redmayne, goddess of inspiration, healing, and smithcraft, which would be Faria again, Ferris, Ferrari. Mayor Winningham is, of course, Ain, the red-headed sun goddess, Isis. Just Statue of Liberty, sun's rays coming from her head, sun goddess, mare, the red mare, Mare Winningham. And of course, we're back to Lug and Colmfior again. That's Lug. And you're back to Brian Blessed, Brian the Blessed, because his head is supposed to be at the Tower of London, right next to Tower Bridge. Bingo. Bingo. All boys together. Oh no, there's a girl. Well, there you go. Well, the club does go both ways, of course it does. Right. So we now have a direct pointer to the potential date of the West Coast False Flag, which is now open because the Las Vegas one from War Games has already been conducted on 7/11, and then 3/11, perhaps October the 31st, 2019. Reverse that, 91 becomes 19, harvest. It is the harvest, right? That's the end of the harvest, the dark part of the year, the blackout part of the year. October 31st, November the 1st, 3/11, boom. And there's again the other frizzy-haired, long red-headed Maca goddess of war and fertility. And she's also a raven and scald crow. And here's the beginning of... Oh, sorry, not Samhain. Yeah, Samhain is the end of the harvest season. So it's Samhain, which is October the 31st, Thor's Day. That could be the date. There's so many more. Goddess Cailleach, one eye. Dark Mother. She's a crone. Brian the Blessed. Here's your Tower of London. You see Brian Blessed, Tower of London, Tower Bridge. Dagda. I think this is the father god. Hold on. Yes, all father, god of time, magic, sex, and crops, food. Again, we're back to the harvest. Brian Blessed, Brian the Blessed. As you can see, this is Brian the Blessed, but it's Brian Blessed, isn't it? Of course it is. Herne. Now, there's a certain person from Herne Hill in London, and that is David Bowie. And again, he's on that island with Robin Williams with Hot and Cold Running Rent Boys, guaranteed. Sawindon, goddess of the cauldron. Yeah. And Brian Blessed's film Back in Business, 2007, at Tower Bridge. Another film he was in, the Pirates film, with The Mast, which is the Space Needle, and Oz, which is, again, Seattle, Emerald City, Oz. Alright.